Hey guys, what's up? A couple of you asked me to do a series where I talk about my life. I don't know how many videos it'll be. I've shortened down a lot of stuff that I've went through. The main reason I want to share this is because I know that a lot of people my age or younger than me have gone through bullying and drugs, possibly jail. People have gone through what I've gone through. And a lot of people don't know how to reach out to someone to get help. And I want to tell my story so people can know that they're not alone and there's someone out there they can talk to. So anyway, here we go. So basically, I'm not going to read the very beginning of the story. I just kind of want to sum it up. When I was in middle school, I was bullied a lot. And I have a feeling that this had a big impact on my life. I would basically come home every day crying my eyes out to the point where I wanted to kill myself at the age of like 10 or 11. Because the kids were that mean to me. And I don't know why kids want to be mean to other kids. I mean, they think it's funny, but they don't realize, what they do to a person by the way they act. But anyway, here's where I'm going to start reading, because I can't remember all this for the life of me. But anyway, the rest of the year was hard, but then again, also good for me. My mom had decided that it would be a good idea for me to be homeschooled, since she could tell that being through that torture had really broken my spirit. I was at the point where it was so bad I wanted to kill myself. It's sad to think that even today kids have to go through what I went through. It's sad that they don't have the courage to take up for themselves. It's really sad that their parents don't notice and do something about it. It breaks my heart for them, because you never know what kind of effect something you might say or do has on a person. During the rest of my 8th grade year of being homeschooled, I slowly started finding myself. I became more outgoing, lost all my baby fat, started maturing and turning into more of the person I am now. Also, I really became an internet junkie. Started making friends online because I had no other way of having friends. My dad owns a music business, and I went there with him every day, and that's where I did my schoolwork. I didn't really have any other way to talk to anyone but online. During that year, I got my Xbox and started playing Xbox Live. I really became a recluse and kind of got obsessed with the internet and video games. It was like my escape from reality, the reality that I was really a lonely, lost, and very depressed individual. The internet and gaming kept me from dwelling on the past, so that's all I did, to the point where I didn't want to get offline. So this led to my mom putting me back into public school. To start getting to the point and make it short, when I got put back into public school, I made a lot of friends, got fairly popular in school, and started partying a lot. First, I smoked tons of weed. Then, when that didn't affect me enough, I started popping Xanax bars, Lortabs, Percocets, any kind of pill I could get my hands on. Eventually, that led to me doing ecstasy. During all of this, the friends that I had took advantage of me, backstabbed me once again, stole from me, basically didn't give two fucks about me in the end. They just liked me because I was normally the one with money and I had a car. This had a major impact on me, so I moved to another city and made new friends after graduating. I met a lot of different people. Majority of them were drug users or drug dealers. All of my boyfriends I've had in the past have been drug dealers, and you can imagine how they treated me. I've been beat up, drugged up, raped, manipulated, used, taken advantage of in many ways, but I didn't care. They supplied the drugs for me. Anyway, one of my boyfriends at the time talked me into selling weed, so I did, and I made a decent amount of money, but I smoked a lot more weed and started doing more drugs. When my grandfather passed away, I got into snorting cocaine, and I did it a lot, to the point where I knew it was affecting me. I had changed into a monster. I would disrespect my parents. I would stay out partying all day and all night. I just didn't care, and in a way, I was hoping I would just die. And I don't understand why I felt like that. I just had such a hard time coping with things that had happened to me. Just look at it this way. Take all of your close friends, the friends you consider to be people who would never hurt you. Now imagine them taking a knife and digging it deep into your back, kicking you to the ground, spitting in your face, and then just leaving you there to die. That's how I felt, and I was alone, so the drugs helped me to forget that. My parents during all this time didn't know what to do, and let me tell you, I have a loving and very supportive family, but the person that I was, or the person that I used to be, was someone they couldn't handle. So eventually they had enough and forced me to go live with my grandmother. When I got there, I was cut off from everyone and everything. I went through withdrawals, got really sick, lost a lot of weight, and I was in a lot of pain. I didn't care about getting better though. Through all of that, I didn't care. I had found my aunt and grandmother's pills and started taking them. So during my recovery time, I was still getting high. To make a long story short, I stole one of my grandmother's prescriptions, started making copies of it, went back home, started getting fake prescriptions filled, and started selling pills. Remember the ex-boyfriend who I told you got me into selling weed? Well, he found out I was selling pills and wanted some, so I went back to the pharmacy I'd been to before, tried to get a prescription filled, and got arrested because they recognized me. When that happened, I thought my life was over. It was 2 counts of felony prescription fraud, so I went off the deep end. Not even a month later, I picked up 4 or 5 more charges ranging from simple possession to check forgery. It's a really long story, but if you ever wanted to hear those parts too, I'm willing to tell you. Anyway, one day, I just decided I don't care. I'm going to get as fucked up as possible and maybe I'll just die. So I rolled up a blunt with Ambien in it, drank alcohol, blacked out at 2 p.m., woke up at 1 a.m. in the hospital. I had a car accident, flipped my car 3 times, ended up in the back seat. They said it was a miracle I had survived. The night of my car accident, I remembered seeing the faces of my family, them hovering over my body, tears rolling off their faces, and their hearts were broken. What the fuck had I done with my life? Who was I? That night, I went to jail for 3 months. It was the worst experience of my life. I got lucky, and the judge let me have a furlough to go to rehab for the next 5 months. During that time, I changed a lot. I lost contact with all the people I'd hung out with because when you get in trouble and go to jail, no one fucking cares about you then because they have no reason to talk to you. You're not giving them anything. The 2 best friends I had pinned a lot of the charges they were involved with on me. I just took it and went with it, but I never spoke to them again. Those bitches can burn in hell. I look at my life now and compared to 3 years ago, I am blessed. I've been on state probation for 3 years. I get off in July of this year. My record gets expunged, and I get to have a normal life, drug-free and alive. I know that God has a purpose for me in this life, and I don't know if it's to share my story, but I just want anyone who listened to this to know, if you're going through what I've went through, I'm here to talk. Send me a message, and remember, you're not alone. Thanks, guys. My